Tune into Sports 360 with Ahmed Hamad.
On the opening day of the first cricket test match between Australia and Sri Lanka, Australia in their first inning were 330 for the loss of 2 wickets at close of first day's play at Galle. Stand-in captain Steven Smith scored his 10,000 test runs before completing a momentous occasion with a majestic century, while Usman Khawaja reached his 16th century as Australia were rewarded for an aggressive approach against a spin-heavy Sri Lankan bowling attack on a slow Galle surface. Australia finished the opening day of the series in a dominant position at 330 for 2, with rein ending play after 81.1 over. Usman Khawaja and Steven Smith, they put in 195 runs for the third wicket unbroken partnership that put Australia in a very commanding position. Australian stand-in captain Steven Smith winning the toss and opted to bat first, and they had a brilliant start with opener Travis Head playing in his natural style, scoring a half-century before lunch. Yes, he made 57 of 40 balls, hitting 10 fours and 1 6 with a strike rate of 143. Imagine, this is Test cricket, not a shorter format of cricket. Australia were very near to put on 100 runs opening wicket partnership, but they lost their first wicket 8 short of 100 at 92 in the 15th over, and Travis Head was the first man to go after scoring 57. He was caught by Dinesh Chandimal off the bowling of Prabath Jayasuriya. Then 43 runs were added for the second wicket, and Australia lost their second wicket at 135 in the 30th over, and second to go was Marnus Labuschagne after scoring 20 from 50 balls with the help of 2 fours. He was caught by Dhananjaya De Silva off the bowling of Vandersay. Then a brilliant 195 unbroken third wicket partnership between Usman Khawaja and stand-in captain Steven Smith took Australian total to 330 for the loss of 2 wickets when, because of the rain, match was called off. And in that 195 runs unbroken partnership of 307 balls, both Usman Khawaja and Steven Smith were even to even. Usman Khawaja made 90 of 119 balls and Steven Smith 104 of 188 balls. Having averaged 68 in 38 previous tests as captain, Steven Smith has clearly enjoyed taking the leadership reins with Pat Cummins on paternity leave. He was in sublime form after lunch and reached his half-century in 57 balls before showing patience in the final session as Sri Lankan talesman Prabath Jayasuriya resorted to a defensive leg stump line. As gloomy skies threatened, Steven Smith regained his momentum to notch his 35th Test century. He raised a baggy green in a reserve celebration, with Smith having peeled off 3 tons in the last 7 Test innings. Smith had started the match on 9,999 runs, falling short of landmark in the 5th final Test against India at Sydney Cricket Ground. But Smith reached the milestone on his first delivery just before the lunch with a flick to mid-on to join Ricky Ponting, Alan Border and Steven Smith as the only Australians to achieve the 10,000 runs milestone in Test cricket. Not having to face tormentor Jasprit Bumrah, Usman Khawaja cut a relaxed figure and played with good intent to end a long drought, having gone without a century since the opening Ashes Test in mid-2023. After a lean series against India, pressure had built on 38-year-old Usman Khawaja, but he repaid the faith by perfectly complementing aggressiveness of Smith and Head, who justified his promotion up the order with 57 of 40 balls. Usman Khawaja unfurled the reverse sweep to good effect and reached his century of 135 balls, celebrating by pumping his fist and taking off his helmet before waving his bat. It has been a torrid start to a 2-test series for Sri Lanka, who were particularly sloppy in the field and tardy with the reviews. They were left to rue numerous chances to dismiss Usman Khawaja including 2 drop catches of the bowling of an increasingly flustered Jayasuriya, who destroyed Australia at the venue with a 12-wicket haul in his Test debut in 2022. Khawaja was also lucky on 74 when he edged Jayasuriya through to the wicketkeeper Kushal Mendes, but Sri Lanka did not review the not-out decision. In the opening session, Australia piled on 261 runs at a run rate of 4.35. Travis Head set the tone after Smith had no hesitation to bat when the coin fell in his favour amid stifling humidity and grassless surface. In a somewhat contentious move, had moved up to number 5 at the expense of 19-year-old Sam Constas, who had made an eye-catching start to his Test career against India. Australian batsmen have so far hit 32 fours and 3 sixes. Looking at the Sri Lankan bowling attack, Ashita Fernando, 7 overs, 1 maiden, 41 runs and no wicket with economy of 5.85. Remember, this is Test cricket, not a shorter format of cricket. Economy of 5.85 is very expensive in Test cricket. Nishan Paris, 21.1 over, 93 runs and no wicket with economy of 4.39. Prabath Jayasuriya, 33 overs, 7 maiden, 102 runs and 1 wicket with economy of 3.09. Jeffrey Vandersay bowled 20 overs, gave away 93 runs and captured just 1 wicket, and his economy was 4.65. The Test series is being played under the ICC World Test Championship 2023 to 2025 cycle, and remember, Australia are at second place. South Africa are leading the points table. They have played 12 matches and have won 8 and have lost 3. One match ended in a draw. They have exactly 100 points with a win percentage of 69.44. Australia, having played 17 matches, 11 have been won by Australia. They have lost 4 and have drawn 1. 130 points and their win percentage is 63.73, while India are out of the final race. They have played 19 matches, have won 9 and have lost 8. They have 2 matches ended in a draw and they have 140 points with win percentage of 50. While New Zealand are at number 4, they have played 14 matches, won 7 and have lost 7. They have 81 points with a win percentage of 48.21. While Sri Lanka, playing against Australia, are at number 5. They have played 11 matches, won 5 and have lost 6. They have 60 points with a win percentage of 45.45. England are at number 6. They played the maximum number of tests in this cycle. They have played 22 test matches, won 11, lost 10. One match ended in a draw. They have 114 points with a win percentage of 43.18. While Bangladesh are at 8, are at 7, West Indies at 8, and Pakistan are at the bottom. They are at number 9. Pakistan have played 14 test matches, won only 5 and have lost 9. They have 47 points with a win percentage of 27.98.
Keep on watching Sports 360 with Ahmed Hamad for latest news, views, and interviews of sports personalities from around the world.